What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kinda Funny podcast. I'm your host, Nick Scarpino, alongside it's Christmas in November, Joey Noel.
Hello. It's almost December. We're so close.
It's almost
How is it
December.
already November, though? That's the real question I have.
I just don't know. As a person who's getting up there in age, Joey, it's like time could go by a little slower. That'd be okay with me. Also, we've got the second best baby blues in all of San Francisco, Mr. Tim Gay, is going on. What's up?
Drinking a little hibiscus, which is the latest flavor of LaCroix.
Oh,
Very high up there for me. Oh, I absolutely love it. I've been getting into tea recently, like I was telling you guys, but this is essentially just a cold tea, not an iced tea, just a cold tea. It's a whole new type of tea. It's fantastic.
I'm sorry, let's back up for a hot second. I'm getting into tea like I told you guys. Did I miss this? Joey, was this something that was a conversation that we
had?
had?
It was like a very brief mention. I don't feel like we did a deep dive on it.
No, okay. I don't think there's that deep to dive on it.
Wait, what tea specifically are you into right now?
You're asking way too many questions. You know, I'm drinking.
Let me tell you, exploratorily drinking tea.
I'll tell you the entire process, okay? Excellent. I got that big old cup that I have, that big giant, it's like over a liter, I think.
What?
And it allows cold and hot drinks. And
Where
I'm like, cool.
Can you show us?
Like a Yeti cup of some sort? Did you have a Yeti thing?
No, it's kind of like that. I don't remember the actual brand of it, but it's really pretty. There's a nice like blue gradient on it. But normally I drink a lot of cold things from it, but then it's been really cold in reality. So I was like, I need to warm up my insides, you know? Yeah. And so Gia's like, yo, you know, we have this like dope tea maker. And I was like, that sounds complicated. She's like, it's the easiest thing ever. And she showed me, I'm like, that's the easiest thing ever. So then I just opened the drawer. There's a bunch of these tea bags. I just grab one. I've never once looked at it. I have no idea what it is.
You grab based on color?
So yeah, I was gonna say, what are you basing this just first that your hand touches is what you're doing?
It's kind of just whatever my eye sees, boom, it's happening. I'll look at it. It's just kind of a, you know what I mean? It's just
Can you tell that they're different flavors?
I mean, they are. It's the same as how I drink LaCroix.
They're all like vaguely different.
It's all just vaguely, vague variations on a theme.
On a theme, yeah.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah. But anyway, that's my life now. Sometimes I'm a hot boy, sometimes a cold boy.
Is this affecting your consumption of coffee? Like, are you drinking less coffee because of this?
Well, so that's actually where it came from.
Is that the goal?
It's been so no, not at all. No. It's been so cold that you know me, guys. I'm a quantity guy when it comes to liquids in my body.
Yeah.
So when I go to Starbucks, it's like, okay, cool, Trenta Ice, what's up? And they know what's up. But the problem is Trenta only for cold drinks. They don't make it for hot drinks. So I can't be like, yo, get me a Trenta hot coffee. They'd be like, sorry, can't do that. And then I get real sad. So I got to do it myself. But I also don't need that much caffeine.
Yeah,
so
that's a lot of caffeine for that beverage.
Yeah.
But also, that's what some people would say. Some people would say, don't be a quitter. Exactly. You want to talk about a lot of caffeine right now. I have managed to drink all of the supply of the 2 liters of Diet Coke in my walkable area. So now I've gone to
oh my God.
Yeah, so now
I thought you were going to say your house. I thought you were going to say your corner store. No, you went straight to walkable area.
No, there's a walkable area. Yeah, there's
How
only
many stores are in your walkable area?
There's 2 stores that I consider walkable. One's a liquor store and one's a Walgreens. But I have now tapped them both. The guy's like, I can't keep up with your addiction. And I'm like, then I'm going to have to go to another dealer, my friend, because if you're too fucking small time for me, homie, like daddy needs his caffeine. So I've been relegated, Joey, to the tall boy Diet Coke cans.
I love the tall boys.
These are pretty special.
I'm just drinking the normie ones.
It's a 16 fluid ounce can here.
Yeah,
it's a little tall boy. Now, what I like to do with these, Tim, as you guys know, this is gonna surprise you guys. So strap in.
Strap in.
I like dumb jokes. I know.
Shocking.
Hugely shocking, right? I like to pretend like these are beers. And I like to pretend like I like to ask the missus to get me a tall boy. Let me throw back a tall boy. Now, I'll give you option A, option B. Option A, Danielle thinks it's hilarious and gracefully gets me one every single time. Option B, she gets me one, but there's an eye roll that happens every single time that gets worse and worse and worse as the day goes on. Joy, we'll start with you. A or B?
Oh, this is just such a tough decision, but I'm going to go with B.
Yeah, B is correct, Tim. You don't even have to worry about weighing in on that. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're also joined, I don't know if he's going to talk or not at all, but I like that he's here because he's like the Holy Spirit over my shoulder. The Tsar of Nar has also joined us as well. Mr. Snowbike Mike is on the call, but I think the last time I heard him, he was taking the pugs for a walk. So we don't want to bother him, but he might chime in a couple times. Tim Geddes from KindaFunny.
I just want to say I don't and I will never fully understand the man, the myth, the legend, Snowbike Mike.
No one does.
It just doesn't make sense because if he wanted to be on this show, he can be.
He can
anytime.
Anytime. He knows.
Any episode. Absolutely open invite. And every once in a while he just hangs in here. And I get there's a difference between wanting to hang and just listen and, actually wanting to be in. I totally understand that you don't always want to be on. That's totally cool.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I can't ever tell from him when I talk to him. I'm like, yo, do you want to be a part of it? He's always like, if you want me to be. I'm like, I know, but do you want to be? He's like, oh, I always want to be. I'm like, but do you want to be right now? And he's like, well, I don't know. Like, Tim, I don't know. And I'm like, Mike, do you want to be on the show?
Right.
Like, because you're making me feel like you want to be. You're making me feel bad for not like inviting you.
Yeah.
But I am inviting you, but now I feel bad that I'm like asking you to do more. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
I love that he's listening right now and probably can't talk.
He can't talk right now because he's ordering his third Starbucks latte. Here's the thing about Mike. He told the story the other day, or maybe Andy told the story the other day when Mike first started, and he did like a 6 a.m. appointment for a game because he thought that's what Greg wanted him to do. And Greg, we have, for a lot of people, if we want to pull the curtain back a little bit, we're relatively organized here at KindaFunny, and so we have a Slack channel for like events and things like that. Greg will like anytime a PR person emails or whatever saying, hey, this thing's happening, Greg will put it in the events and say, hey, does anyone want to go to this? Mike had just started. Mike was like, I gotta show this guy I got the stuff. And this was not an event worth his time. But Mike went, and I feel like that set a bad tone for Mike's employment here at KindaFunny. So I feel like starting in January, we should recalibrate our expectation for when Mike comes on content. Because it really is like, it's kind of like that. You like you have a friend that's out of town and you hope he comes into town, you hope he comes to his birthday party, but like you don't want to put him out because he's too cool. It's kind of that vibe, right? So I'm just going to say
more
Mike.
Professional, because I want to say it's not like we don't plan around this. We do production meetings every week where as a group we look at the calendar and the sole reason of the meeting is two things. One, making sure we know what we're doing the next week, just making sure everyone's comfortable with what's going on, and two, making sure we're looking out for each and every other member of the team to be like, Joey's doing too much this day, Nick's doing too much this day. And so it's like it's designed to limit that. Like that is the purpose of these meetings. And I look at stuff and I'm like, oh, Mike's on too much today. He was on, he had a big stream today that he had to do. I'm like, yo, he shouldn't be on more stuff. That's fine. But then here he is hanging out like a trog. I missed this whole trog thing. I don't know what the hell people are talking about, but the chat won't stop talking about these trogs.
I think it's a Greg thing.
Greg called them troglodytes a long time ago. And the people that listen to
this.
They
loved it. They got so worked up.
They call themselves the Trog Game now, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, this is the KindaFunny podcast where each and every week 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around these microphones just to kind of shoot the shit and mostly tell you what we're watching on the Netflixes. If you want to support this, you can do so in a couple different ways. 1, you can subscribe to our channel. 2, you can mail Snowbike Mike $1 bill. Just a $1 bill. Here's the thing. Mail it to the South Lake Starbucks and he'll come pick it up from there. 3, you can go over to patreon.com/KindaFunny where you can back us and watch this show live, just like a lot of people in the chat are doing, and they're just typing Trog Gang. Now, if you're wondering, Joey, what is the actual official definition of troglodyte? I looked it up. It's not. I
don't even know
word.
how to spell it, so I have no idea what the definition is.
It's not a positive word.
Okay.
It is. I'm just gonna look it up because I have the internet machine right now. Troglodyte. Yeah, there you go.
I have the internet machine now.
Okay. Mm-hmm. A person who lives in a cave, a hermit, a person who is regarded as being deliberately ignorant or old-fashioned. And I think that maybe I'm a troglodyte. I think that I fit all of those.
But you don't live in a cave.
I live in a small room that I am allowed to leave occasionally to go to Starbucks. And I also live in a cave of my mind. Up here.
That is true. So troglodyte is a word that I've never heard, I don't think, until this whole Greg Miller situation that's happening. I thought they were talking about Trogdor, which is another thing that I'm not too familiar with, but it's like the strong bad, old school
strong bad
internet stuff. But I only know it because the song was in Guitar Hero 2. So that's like a retroactive thing for me where I then heard the song, then went back and watched the video. And the hardest thing about old school internet meme videos is they were the funniest fucking thing in the world if you watched them then. But if you didn't watch them then and you're watching them now the first time, I'll never forget the Salad Fingers video
Oh my gosh. That's not good anymore?
I didn't
Come on,
see.
salad fingers is good.
It was weird as fuck then too, though.
I never really saw it back in the day, but I remember when early years of IGN, we went to a PAX Prime, and it was me, our homie James Faulkner, and Sean Finnegan, and they were both like, at some point, Finnegan said, "Ooh, salad fingers," and like. I started cracking up because it like was just fucking the sound Kevin's making, what Kevin's doing. And stop, Kevin, please. But,
I don't like that Kevin's good at it.
No, Kevin never stopped. Kevin's good at. Here's the thing. Here's the thing you guys don't understand about Kevin and Tim. We'll get back to it in a second. I love it. This is
like the worst origin story of ASMR.
No, we've
oh god,
we found some hidden talents here with Kevin, and that's what this. That's what this spoilers episode is going to be about. Now that I've just decided, and I remember that someone asked a question about that over on Patreon. But before we get by, put a pin in that, Tim. When did you put a pin in that? I'm going to finish the intro here, and then we're going to go back to this. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Pranksky, ×2, and Delaney Twinning. You are awesome. And today, of course, we're brought to you by Overland, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Raycon, and Arcane, but we'll talk about those a little bit later. Over on the Patreon, somebody asked a question. Okay. We normally save this for the back nine, but we're going to get into it right now because I want to talk about Kevin's hidden talent. Neo Nugget says, if you could steal another member of KindaFunny's obscure or random talent for yourself, who would it be? Who and what would it be? Now, Kevin has discovered this thing about himself over the last 6 months. And it's sad. It saddens me personally. Kevin's good at doing voices, and I am bad at doing voices, and I don't like it. I don't like this. I don't like that Andy is the guy that can do Michael Caine. And I don't like that Kevin can do like the MGS, like Metal Gear Solid Big Boss voice or whatever he's got now in the sub alert.
I think that's Andy too. I think Andy's good at impressions. And I think that Kevin's good at voices, but I don't think it's in the last 6 months. Kevin's always been good at voices because Kevin was a standout featured voice in the KindaFunny animated show.
No, Kevin was the best in the animated show. That's one thing that I'll say is like we had some great voice actors and voice talent working into that. But Kevin's unadulterated innocence that comes through anytime he would say anything is the funniest thing ever.
Innocence and panic. The result is the most real performance you could possibly get out of somebody.
It's somewhere in that beautiful line between entertainment and terror. You know, just sheer terror.
That's right.
Oh my lord,
dude! I'll tell you what. We've talked about this before, but writing for Kevin Coelho was to this day one of the most blessedly fun things I ever got to do.
You certainly enjoyed it very much.
Oh, you loved it too.
I know it was just like looking at the script, be like, "What is he having me say?" Oh Lord. Okay. That's just what I'm gonna say now.
Here's the thing, Kevin. One day, a long time from now, when we look back on this, people are gonna go, "Wow, Nick was insane." But Kevin would look at those scripts, and you would just hear Kevin do his iconic chuckle as he would read through them. And then he would be like, and then when the camera's on him, of course, he was like, "Oh, I got to play bashful. I got to play bashful." But he loved that he got all the best dialogue in that. And when we bring that series back 10 to 15 years from now, Kevin,
you think we ever see that series again?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
okay.
not.
That's too bad.
I guarantee we're seeing it at some point again.
I hope so. I love
what
it.
It'll be, I don't fucking know.
10 to 15 years, you do a straight reboot. That's the timeline we're looking at.
The problem is this, right? We have so many new people, and this is not. I don't mean this to be insulting, but it's going to sound a little crazy. They're all wacky, right? I mean,
that seems helpful to you, right?
Oh no, it's Kevin. It's like you can't even keep these fingers away from the keyboard when I start thinking about one Snowbike mic, right? Like always going downhill, never going uphill. Like 5 chai lattes a day being delivered, even though when I write Snowbike Mike, he's gonna live in a house that is directly next to a Starbucks, and he's still gonna Postmates the chai lattes to his house
that's
$20
how he lives
a clip.
his life now. That's not.
I know, it's ridiculous, and he's just always gonna have a harem of pugs behind him. It's just gonna be just a ton of pugs falling. Some die just sweeps new. It's gonna be perfect.
Like harem is the wrong choice of word, Nick.
Just I'll tell you. Okay, let's dial that back, everyone. Kevin, cut that part out. Cut that part out. Live chat, be cool. We'll call it a gaggle of pugs. Just a gaggle of pugs.
Like the queen has all of her corgis. Snowbike Mike will have his pugs.
Oh my God. See, this is what you tell me right now. This is how fucking horrible my brain works. You said queen. I immediately thought Aliens 2, the queen from Aliens 2, giant pug hanging from the ceiling that just births little pugs in that like come out and face hug, and then a pug pops out of people's chests. That's going to be Snowbike Mike's introduction.
You said queen, and I got confused when you said that the corgis are animal. It's clear it's the Pomeranian, right?
The Pomeranian?
No, it's definitely corgis.
The queen? Lisa Vanderpump?
Oh, that queen. I'm sorry.
I'm so confused by what's happening.
He's
talking about his show.
Fucking love me, Joey. There's nothing you can do about it.
Tim,
I think he's
the
got
fact that we let Tim get away with mentioning Vanderpump or Real Housewives on every single episode of every single show he's been on.
I've done it.
For how long? 6 months?
Probably, yeah.
I'll say it. It's less than us as a product.
Fantastic. Gotta love it.
It's so good though. Nick, I want to go back to a thing that we were talking about earlier.
Wait. So are we leaving the stealing our friends' abilities?
We'll circle back to that in a second.
No, we can circle back. Joey, what was the question?
Why don't more drinks come in that 16-ounce can? That's what I want to know.
I think they do. I think they're always just Monster energy drinks. You know,
we went to the movie theater a few months ago, who knows, because time makes no sense. And they had tall boys like that of sparkling water, which I feel like is the ideal size of sparkling water, because I always want more than one can, but not enough for 2 full cans. And I feel like that should just be the standard.
I'm kind of interested in this, actually. So hold on, Nick, can you bring it up again? Because you're referring to the Monster energy drink, which, as far as I have lived, the Monster energy drink is a fairly unique can size compared to things like the Red Bull can that are skinny.
So this is a normal can size.
Okay, I'm getting the scale of this now. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that is for context sake, like that's probably right where a normal can would end.
This is a normal can, and it's 12 ounces.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is a 16-ouncer,
which is like
we got about
essentially half a liter.
Right.
In that baby. So is that the same size as the classic Arizona iced teas?
No, this would be smaller, I think. I think the Arizona iced tea is a little bit taller. I think that might be like right.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
And so then what's the deal? How come Monster's like, fuck it, we're going bigger than anyone's seen before? And then Red Bull's like, yeah, we're going to be a really tiny little can.
Red Bull's smart. They realized that they're going to sell their product for the same amount as every other product. It's just going to be a third the size, and that's why Red Bull, I believe, is worth $10 billion. I haven't looked that up yet, but I think they're worth $10 billion. They're a unicorn.
So Arizona iced tea or Arizona green teas are 23 ounces, so they're just doubles versus a tall boy somewhere in the middle.
Well, it's not quite double, is it? Then that's
23 ounces is one short.
I was gonna say shout out to what's the Australian one? The Foster's can.
Oh, that's Australian for beer.
Yeah.
What's the Foster's can look like?
Oh, it's huge. I'll pull it up.
It's like it's a chunky boy.
Fat. Yeah, it's like a fat tall boy.
Oh, that thing's fat. Yeah, thick. Yeah.
They sell them at Outback.
Do they? Oh my God, they do. That's right. We got to go to Outback one of these days and see what comes out cold.
Oh, God.
Back to the question at hand from Neo Nugget. I think the obvious answer is I would steal Andy's ability to do Michael Caine from him. And I would just do it, and I would still do mine poorly. I would just make it so that he couldn't do his ever again.
So it's like an Ursula situation.
You're so cruel.
Where you steal his Michael Caine voice.
Exactly. I'm like, do you want? I'm sorry, Andy. Did you want to be a real life human being and walk amongst them, back up where they are, up where they stay all day in the sun? Cool. Then I'm gonna take your Michael Caine away from you. And Andy's gonna be like, fine, that's totally fine. But then he's gonna realize it's a terrible mistake, and there's no gives backsies.
Yeah, I think he's getting the short end of the stick on that deal.
I feel like Andy.
It's not a situation where he's choosing.
Yeah, he's not. There's no quid pro quo here. I'm just stealing his talent.
Ursula.
Yeah.
But he still has to sign the contract.
I like this idea. I want to change this question because Nick, I think, adds an interesting kind of prompt change to it, which is you are stealing this from them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay. And it sucks because I think that Andy's going to be a popular boy to steal from because he has so many talents.
So many good things. I know.
But for me, it would definitely be his ability to. It's not even called sight read. What's it called, Nick? Where you just like you hear music and you're like, I can play that on multiple instruments.
I can't remember the term. There is a term for it. Yeah.
Right?
Whatever that is, I want that.
AURAL. Isn't that what it is?
Carl? KAR.
Carl.
Carl.
AURAL.
AURAL, Nick.
AURAL. AURAL.
I had to take for a hot second, thought I was going to be a music minor in college because I was
related to the ear. Information held in writing, oral or database, related to the ear or sense of hearing. Interesting.
Something with that. I had to take like an oral theory class, and then I was like, "I'm out. This is too much." I can't.
Yeah, I've never been able to. Okay, ear training or oral skills is a music theory study in which musicians learn to identify pitches, intervals, melody, chords, rhythms. I don't know what that word is. And other basic elements of music solely by hearing. The application of skills is analogous to taking dictation in written. Yeah, so but that's different than what Tim's saying, because Andy being able to sort of just like play it out on his guitar. There are people that do that. You can get so good at like there's that famous scene in the Elton John movie, not famous scene, I guess, but the scene in the Elton John movie where he heard he was supposed to prepare something and he heard her playing on the way in, and then he plays the same thing she was playing and then stops, and she goes, "Why'd you stop?" He goes, "Because that's where you stopped." So he has the ability to hear something and translate that to what that is in piano. That's different than what Andy does. Andy goes, "What is it?" And then he plucks away at the chords for 45 minutes until he finally gets it. And then we're all just impressed because we're like, I can't play guitar, so that's better than I could have done.
The thing that I'm impressed by is that it's not actually 45 minutes. It's like 2.5 minutes.
But it feels
that
like 45
is
minutes.
The talent for me that I'm like, that's fucking cool, man.
And
like,
he
you
already
can get there.
He always starts at like having 50% of the notes.
At
and
least.
that 2.5 minutes is just figuring out the other 50.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really impressive.
And I would take that from him in an instant.
I think, and I don't know that this is going to benefit me necessarily as much as it's just a skill I want to have, is I would still Greg Miller's insane ability to remember song lyrics.
That's a good
bonkers. Like, I don't understand how he knows the song lyrics to all the songs that nobody has thought about in the last 12 years and just has them all stored away in the noggin somehow.
Joey, I love that because I feel like you would make such better use of it than Greg does. Greg makes great use of it. We're on podcasts. He fucking every once in a while blows our minds, and it's always insane. The genres he will know, the time frames he will know, none of it makes sense.
No.
But you would use that power for good, and I know you would become the world's greatest karaoke singer. You would just be out there in the streets of San Francisco, and you'd be doing that thing, you're just owning it, and you like start off looking at the screen, and maybe like 2 lines in, you turn away, and it turns into a Spider-Man 3 dance scene. What's the line,
my gosh,
Nick?
Yes.
I love that that's Tim's version of using it for good.
Hot legs. Find us some shade.
Yeah, and then Joey does the whole dance on the chairs and shit, spinning around. I fucking love it, man.
My true dream is to become a human version of Shazam / IMDb. Like, I just want to be filled with useless knowledge. And I feel like that's the first step I need to get there.
Yeah. The human Shazam, Joey Noel. That's awesome.
I love this idea. And by the way, just as a general side note, I just wanted to bring this up before we can keep going because I want to hear what powers Kevin would steal as well. One of life's little pleasures, guys, is again another surprising thing. I'm going to say you guys right now. It's going to be shocking. I sometimes talk a lot of shit. And I sometimes talk a lot of shit about people who aren't here, knowing that eventually it'll get back to them and it'll bring a smile to their face. Because what's more endearing or enjoyable than learning that someone that you love, that you look up to, like Nick Scarpino, was talking shit about you, and then you get back and you hear the quote and it makes you laugh and it makes you feel good because we were thinking about you, right? Greg hasn't been on the podcast in a while, and boy, apparently I've been talking a lot of shit about Greg because he texted me 2 days ago and was like, I've been catching up on KindaFunny content lately. And then it was just, fuck you. Quote, ETA is a perfectly normal question to ask someone when they're late to a production meeting. And I don't even remember saying this, but it sounds like something I would say where I just gave him shit.
Isn't that the worst? When it's like you don't remember it, but you see it, you're just like,
it, though.
yeah, I would have said it, and they're right.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
But you did definitely talk about that, but I can't remember what context that was.
Well, I think I was late to like 5 production meetings.
Oh, it was the week that you missed all the meetings.
I was just off of it. Yeah, that was the week after I had. I think I was like very sleep deprived that week. It doesn't matter.
Speaking of this, though, Nick, real quick, I want to say, sorry, I thought you were done with the Greg bit. I want you to continue. I just want to put this out there for us to start thinking about. The headline of this episode is going to be, what would we steal from Andy Cortez?
Perfect.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I mean, Andy's ability to play guitar, first off, is like the secondary thing that I would steal for sure. Because I've always wanted to be able to play guitar, but I can't get my hands to move independently of each other. I just can't do it. And I also can't play and sing at the same time. And I'm just amazed that he can do that. But one of the things I wouldn't take from him is his complete and total inability to harmonize with other human beings. He thinks he's good at it. And it's just like, at this point, I'm like, it must be what having a child is like, right? Where the kid's like, Dad, do you like my art? And you're like, that is the worst fucking art I've ever seen in my life. And the kid's like, but I've been really trying. And you're like, what am I gonna just destroy this kid's self-esteem? Right? Like, buddy, your art's perfect. It's great. You did great art. Meanwhile,
then he goes
laughing
home
when you're smoking weed in the bedroom. Like, this kid's never gonna make it as a fucking artist. That's Andy's ability.
He's so good at it.
I don't know why this is the hill that Nick has chosen to die on, Joey, with regards to Andy's musicality.
Here's what I'll say. Well, it's because he's not here. It'll get back to him. He'll love it. In a week, he's gonna hear this. Someone's gonna clip it out and send it to him on Twitter. He's like, oh, they were talking about me. They do value me as a friend and as a coworker.
That historically is Andy's response to stuff like this. Yeah.
They do value me. What's gonna happen is he's gonna hear it, he's gonna bring it up to you, and you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, no. I think you're great at it. I didn't say that. No, and even you would forget what side you're on.
You got to make up your own reality. Now, the bummer thing about all this is that probably like one of the best vocals in this group never utilizes that talent. Mostly because she decides to never, ever, ever throw herself into the chaos that is me and Andy singing. And that's always disappointed me, Joey, because I heard you sing one time and I was like, I don't understand why we're not utilizing this talent more. Why
you think that it's shocking after this conversation about Andy harmonizing why I haven't chosen to throw myself in there? Just clarifying statements that we're saying.
I just feel like again, is Andy's not here. I'm just saddled with this second-rate harmonizer in my life. And it's fine. You gotta work with what you got, right? God gave me these hands, the hands of a surgeon, and I chose to use them to just hold onto a mouse and play video games with it. It's okay. But I heard Joey sing once, and I was like, I don't understand why Joey's not dropping ill rhymes on our like holiday mixes or our Thanksgiving Day songs or the pumpkin spice latte songs. She could at least be helping Andy find his pitch, but she chooses not to.
So mean to him.
This is what you get. This is what you get when you make me do the podcast, Greg Miller.
You just never miss the podcast. Never miss the podcast. Yeah, I mean, part of it is that like I just don't sing that much anymore at all. My mom asked me this last time I was home. She's like, "Do you sing anymore?" I was like, "I mean, like in the car and stuff like that, but like it's not part of like my normal routine as it was before, where I used to sing all the time." Though Blessing has been getting really into karaoke lately, and he and Kevin and Paula and Avery went to one of my favorite bars in all of San Francisco, which I think Tim hates, Martuni's. I think we went there like once with Gia.
I've never been there.
It's honestly, it's weird as fuck, but it's really fun. It's this really, really dark martini bar called Martuni's. They have like $10 martinis, and it's the best place to go get really drunk in San Francisco for relatively cheap.
Driven past this a bunch of times. I know the sign on Market. No,
yeah, it's like right by what's the place that has the good chicken? The restaurant on Market. They're known for having really good chicken. I can't remember what it's called. But so the front room, it looks like a really like kind of like old school like hotel bar almost, and then you go in the back room and they have a guy playing piano and a bunch of like bistro tables, and you go up and you just request songs and you just sing with this guy playing piano. It's super fun.
Absolutely adore that. One of the bars that I used to go to all the time was over in the Marina. It was a piano bar, and I just feel like it's actually just so relaxing and different to be sitting in a bar where someone is playing live music and it's not, and it's just a totally different vibe, and this
Yeah.
sounds really.
So
really
let's add some normal people voice karaoke to that.
No, that sounds
peaceful
terrible.
piano.
Honestly,
sounds horrible.
it's so funny. Last time I was there, which is like years ago now, with all the pandemic stuff, but there was just this drunk woman who, for like a solid 20 minutes, anytime somebody go up, she'd be like, "Are you gonna sing Shallows from A Star Is Born?" And they were like, "No." And then she would just get like, "Oh, okay." And like, but she asked like 7 people if they were gonna sing it. And then eventually someone was like, "Do you want to sing it?" And she was like, "Oh, I do." And she went up and it was the worst performance I've ever heard. But we should go sometime. It's a fun time.
I would love to go.
Wait,
I would actually absolutely love to go to this.
Last time we went, Tim, for no particular reason, they were just singing
Disney songs.
Disney songs,
You talked about this, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, that is kind of random because that's not usually the vibe. It's normally like jazzy or like songs with like heavy piano.
Yeah,
which
makes a lot of sense for like
Disney.
the theme of the place.
Do you think that, Joey? Do you think that I could get them to play on loop Frasier, the theme for Frasier?
You probably could.
Okay. Because as
If you
you know,
wanted
that's
to
my
sing
favorite
the
thing
theme
to
song?
sing. I don't know the lyrics to it. I'm the anti-Greg, where like you want to talk about a person who couldn't remember a lyric to save his freaking soul. That is me. How many times, Tim, have I started singing something and you just have to do the face palm thing where you're like, that's no work. That's not even close to the lyrics of that song.
I love it though. Like that. My favorite thing about Nick and music is that you don't have the lyrics right, but every time you try, you commit to not committing so hard that it is so fucking funny that like you're not even making sense with what you say, but like it is the perfect comedic timing of it all. But you have this like 80s power vocal to your voice that like God gifted you with. Like you were made for it. Like the
Hear that, Andy?
that we've heard it in a bunch of the dumb shit we did at IGN, but I was always so impressed by your bullshit. And every once in a while it comes out and I'm just like, that is way better than it should be.
Thank you. As you know, the Scarpinos can sing. We can sing. My brother has a phenomenal voice as well. Actually, I think he has better range and a lot more powerful vocals than I do, but I'm the one on camera constantly, so that's what y'all get.
Nick, I want to go to Martuni's with you, and I want you to request Fever, the song that is the song they play in Spider-Man 3. And I want you to put your hair down, and I want you to do it. Yeah.
Bum, ba-dum, boom. That song, yeah. Fever when I get the morning.
Here we go.
Yeah. Fever when I get the thing. You give me fever. Boom,
I get the thing. You give me fever.
Here's the problem with it. I've talked about this when it comes to remembering lyrics. I used to play music constantly. I never trained my brain to listen to the words of a song. And actually, I saw this pop up on Twitter, like I think 2 days ago. Someone was like, "Wait a minute, who the hell doesn't listen to the words of songs?" I'm like, "That's me." I couldn't tell you what any songs are about. Like I struggle. I have to look up lyrics and actually try to like focus on what they're about, or otherwise I'm just like, what is the point of this song? I just like melodies better.
The lyric was, "Never know how much I love you, never know how much I care," which you turned into, "Wait till you do the thing."
Oh my gosh.
We're nightmares here. Oh, Mike's gone.
But
Mike took off. Okay.
It is. I will say that Martuni's is great because half to 75% of the people that go up there end up having their phone for lyrics because nobody necessarily knows all of those lyrics, or you forget them as soon as you get up there, which is what always happens with karaoke.
Of course.
So as long as you had that, you'd be totally fine.
Oh, I have to have that. Yeah, there's only like 2 songs that I ever memorized. I don't even think I could redo them in karaoke. My 2 songs, of course, Tim, thank you for asking, that I used to just slam out of the park was "Superstition" by Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On." My favorite to sing is Marvin Gaye. If I'm feeling good about my upper register, I'm coming straight out of the gate with "Let's Get It On." And 1 to 2 people are getting pregnant that night because of that.
Love it.
Not because of me. They're not taking any of my stuff. They're not taking any of my stuff. It's just they're gonna look at their significant other and be like, "It's not gonna get any better than this. Let's make a small baby."
Once again, you were flirting with disaster, but you veered left in a good way. But then you said they're not getting my stuff. Holy shit! That is the dirtiest thing I've ever heard.
I didn't mean it like that. I just meant they're not getting any of my DNA or my stuff.
Yes, that's exactly what I knew you meant.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't mean it like that. I just didn't mean any of my DNA or stuff.
It's funny because we've been trying to get different people on this podcast from the Kind of Funny group, and every like Wednesday, Thursday when we do this, Tim puts it on its Slack. Does anyone want to be on the podcast? It's crickets. I don't know why. I don't know why people don't.
I hit a point today where I just slacked Joey and I said, I don't know where the thing at. Oh, there we go. There, I'm already on Joey's Slack. Surprise, surprise. I go, hey, can you be on KFP? And honestly, just all of them for the rest of the year.
Yeah, Joey, I think you need to do that. Joey, you're like the sane agent. Like you're like the mellowing thing that me and Tim put in the hyper caffeinated coffee to like actually make it palatable. And I respect you for that.
That
I would
sounds like a compliment, but I don't really know what that means.
It is a compliment because here's the thing. Here's what people don't understand, right? Actually, at this point, they do. They definitely do. Because if you're a fan of Kind of Funny content, if you're a best friend out there, if you've listened to this podcast for longer than a year, you know that Tim is also low key crazy. Tim's insane. He just comes off. He just presents as a sane human being, but realistically, in the back of his mind, he loves this shit, and he loves when me and Kevin just start going off the deep end. But Joey, you're not like that. You're better than us, and I appreciate that. You're the counterbalance to our insanity.
Mm-hmm. I think it goes back to, I think Andy was talking about one of the last podcasts of like everybody plays a different role depending on who's on the shows.
Yeah,
and like when it's you two plus Andy and Greg and Nick take the crazy. So Andy and Tim have to be the grounding ones. With Greg gone, that leaves a lot of room for movement for Andy and Tim, depending on.
I feel like with that, just because of the combination of people and our personality styles and everything, I'm rarely the crazy one. Like it's usually like, because I'm usually paired with Nick, Greg, and Andy and sometimes, right, where he gets to be goofy and stuff. But you put me and Joey together, but it's just that she's so screwed. Like that's Timfinity War, that's Tim Ragnarok, that's like,
and that's happened so few times that it's just you and I.
I know, but it's great.
I know, it just comes barreling out sometimes, you know.
There was a moment today.
Figured out what I want to steal from Andy.
Go for it.
I want to steal Andy's laugh because Andy has like the hands down best laugh. Not only is a good laugh, but it gets other people to start laughing. Not even about what Andy's laughing about, just because his laugh is so infectious. And I want that kind of power. I just want, like, I don't have to be funny. I just have to, my laugh has to be good enough to make other people have a good time. And that's what I want.
There's 3 laughs at Kind of Funny that will make me laugh. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's the Andy laugh.
Mm-hmm.
There's Greg laughing at himself, which is
the
not
wheeze.
A laugh. It's a wheeze.
You pass through the wheeze and you get back into that next laugh. That's when it happens.
That's when it. But if I'm being honest, in all honesty, my all-time favorite laugh at Kind of Funny is Snowbike Mike.
Mike. You swerved me in a direction I was not expecting.
I thought we were getting Kevin for sure.
I did too. I would have bet
Kevin's
money
laugh
on that.
it provokes a wide range of emotions in me. Kevin's laugh is iconic at this point, but Snowbike Mike's wheeze laugh, that like it gets me every single time because it just reminds me how pure and beautiful that human being is, and I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah,
bless him. I can't wait till he's here with us. I can't wait till we can just hang out with Snowbike Mike because I want to know what that looks like.
He's gonna die. We're gonna put him on everything because he's great on everything. And that's the thing. If we're talking about stealing other people's talents, I want Snowbike Mike's energy. I just want to take that level of energy he brings to everything. That's what I'd want to steal. I would, going back to Andy for a second though, it's funny that none of us want to steal his art skills because he's very good at drawing things.
He is.
And his design layouts are really good, but all that sounds like work. Like, here's the thing. Here's why I don't want to do that, Joey. Because if I had Andy's art skills, how many times would Tim hit you up? Be like, dude, just need this
very good point.
There's one good. Could you get this this layout for this Thunderballs thing that we're doing earlier today or whatever it is, Thunder Lightning? And Andy's just like, and then here, let me try it. Ready? Yeah, I guess. That was my Andy.
I don't think it's I think it's more of a sure. Where it's like
That's
No,
what it is.
no.
It's the closure. Sure.
No, it's the sure dog. DAWG. It's always the DAWG. And I know what that means is I want to like you right now, Tim, but I want you to know I don't really.
I hate asking you, yes. I hate that you're asking me for this. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go on, let me tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by ARCANE, the Netflix original series from the creators of League of Legends. ARCANE is a 9-episode, 3-part series that follows the story of 2 young girls, Vi and Powder, who were born in the Undercity beneath Piltover. Their eagerness to prove themselves sets a series of events in motion that take their relationship to its breaking point and transforms them forever. Witness the animation event of the year and see the champions you know and love, like Vi, Jinx, Heimerdinger, and Jace's stories will all intertwine in this action-packed series, whether you've played League for ages or if you're a brand new person to Runeterra. ARCANE is the perfect introduction to League of Legends' vast worlds, following the origins of some of its most iconic characters. It dives into the stories behind one of the most played games of all time, and you can too. Prepare for the epic battle that's only the beginning. ARCANE is now streaming exclusively on Netflix. Next up, shout out to Shin Megami Tensei 5. It's the newest installment in the acclaimed JRPG series developed by Atlas. You play as a young high school student who's granted an accursed power to save his life. He becomes a new being that's neither human nor demon, a Nahobino. There you go. And you're suddenly transported from modern Tokyo to a post-apocalyptic world. You'll explore the demon-infested wasteland of an enigmatic realm that's filled with mythical deities and demonic tyrants in constant conflict for survival. Search for answers and forge your own path in a battle between light and dark, and your choices will dictate the fate of the world. Turn formidable foes into worthy allies by recruiting them via negotiations, then fuse them to create demons customized to fit your playstyle. Shin Megami Tensei 5 has been fully rendered in 3D, utilizing Unreal Engine 4, a first for the mainline Shin Megami Tensei series. You can pre-order the deluxe and standard editions of Shin Megami Tensei 5 today on the Nintendo eShop. Next up, shout out to Overland. You all know that cozy is my middle name, but there's nothing I like to do every day that's cozier than slipping into some Overland sheepskin slippers. I've been using these, G's been using these, Greg Miller has been using these, and he is now a proud papa walking around with that baby, and his feet have never been comfier. Overland uses expert craftsmanship to pair the highest quality merino sheepskin, which is naturally moisture wicking, temperature regulating, and antimicrobial. And you know how I feel about microbes. With supportive memory foam midsoles in order to make slippers that feel better and wear better for longer. Don't wait another day to slip into something way more comfortable, or give it as a gift to somebody that you love. Get the best, highest quality sheepskin slippers on the market at overland.com/KindaFunny. You'll get free shipping and free returns. I recommend you go today because these slippers are slipping off the shelves, everybody. They're so beloved that they've been known to sell out. That's overland.com/KindaFunny, overland.com/KindaFunny. And next up, shout out to Raycon. It's never too early to start holiday gift shopping, especially because right now you can save big on the best everyday gift. Some Raycon wireless earbuds. Cool Greg's been using these, training for his marathon, getting his run on, and he got the jams in his ears. Raycons have seamless Bluetooth pairing, a noise isolating fit, and amazing sound quality, which now you can customize thanks to their new sound profiles on their new everyday earbuds. They've got 3 modes you can choose from: pure, balance, and bass. So you can always have just the right amount of bass, and boom, baby. So this holiday season, get the ones you love, something that they'll use every day, whether it calls for music, for calls, for work, for play, home, or on the go. Go to buyraycon.com/KindaFunny today to unlock exclusive deals up to 20% off your Raycon order. But hurry, this offer is available for a limited time only, and if you don't want to miss it, you better get moving. That's buyraycon.com/KindaFunny to unlock up to 20% off your Raycons. Buyraycon.com/KindaFunny.
And now we're back. It's true, though. It's tough, though. I think out of all the people that I've ever had ask me for things, I think Tim's really good at it at this point. I think you're very aware that you're like, I know that this request is a request, and I'm amenable to it, but it still has to get done. And
Yeah.
I respect that. I respect that. I do.
Well,
I do think that is, and it has to be, a major part of my skill set, because like that's what people don't like, is being told to do things. I've never told someone to do things. I always ask, and you should always ask. Always fucking ask.
Of course you should.
I don't care who the hell you are and what the hell you're trying to get done. Just ask.
I agree. And Tim's also very good at knowing when he's asking you to do some bullshit thing that he knows you don't want to do and presents it as such in a way that's like, I know that this is some dumb thing that I'm asking you to do, but can you do it? And I feel like the acknowledgement that the task being requested is dumb also helps.
Well, Tim knows me very well by this point. Tim knows my thought process. My first reaction to everything is just to thoroughly reject it. So he just waits that out. He just waits it out.
That's not true though, Nick. What you gung ho about everything. If I ask you to do something, yes, sure thing. Then it's for me the like, okay, but how much do I badger him about it to make sure it actually happens? Like that's always my game. But I've learned over time, only ask for things that need to get done and be very explicit about what needs to be done when. And you have never failed me. You fucking get that shit done every goddamn time. It's great.
I don't fail. But there is that one momentary reaction where I'm like, I want to reject this thoroughly.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I know. I want to reject this. And I'm sure that everyone has that. Everyone has that anytime anyone asks them to do anything.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah. No, the thing is, though, with you, Nick, earlier you joked about you don't want to take Andy's design powers because then I'm going to ask you to do things. That's you with motion graphics. Like, you're fucked because you're so good at motion graphics. So, like, guess what? I'm going to ask you to do a bunch of motion graphics.
I love him though. I love doing that stuff though. But see, that's so weird how that stuff breaks down. Where like I love being able to do that stuff, and I wish, like, part of me wishes that I could spend more time doing that, but then the other part of me is like that's just gonna lead you to just going insane because I spend way too much time doing that stuff. But it's fun to just dig into that stuff for like 6 hours, 8 hours, and come up with something cool. It's fun. It's artsy, you know.
Yeah,
you're actually making something, which is cool, as opposed to, I mean, I guess we're making something right now. This is a podcast. We're making entertainment for people, but it's just a different part of your brain that you get to exercise a little bit, which is cool. And then working with Andy in conjunction, where he'll give you the designs. I'm like, this is the 1-2 punch. Or lately, you know, doing stuff and kicking it over to Roger, and then having him make it just infinitely better because he's just younger and faster than me. I don't know. He turned out he showed me the edit for Oreo Oration, and I was like, how long did this take you? Because that would have taken me 8 hours to do this edit.
Yeah, if you don't know, everybody, Roger edited 4 episodes of Oreo Oration that Greg recorded before he went on parental leave. The episode 1 is out now, so you can go check that out. And yes, it's fucking fantastic. Roger is god tier when it comes to editing.
He's so good.
It's great, and it's also one of those things where I'm not going to say that I'm the star of this, but I have some dynamite drop-ins when it comes to Greg. And I can tell that it bothers Greg that I had some funny lines because he just clipped out the thing that I didn't say that was cool, and he put it up on Facebook. I appreciate that, Greg. It's okay. You know what? Keep me down a couple pegs, buddy. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Oh, Nick's going to climb that back eventually. Oh, my goodness. I'm good. But, yeah, I don't want Andy's art skills. He can keep those. That's fine. And he can keep his anime hair too. I think that's such a signature Andy thing that anytime I see that in the world, I'm like, do you know Andy Cortez? Did you steal that from Andy Cortez?
It's so dope. I love that his hair is so unique, and it's funny because like it's unique, but what you just said is it's anime hair, but you just don't see people in real life with anime hair, so it makes it, even though it's an established thing, it's super fucking unique and cool, especially because like it fits his vibe so well. I love it. It enhances the Andy Cortez image.
Here's my question to you guys, though. Would you like, actually, another thing I would steal from Andy is his basketball skills. Not because I want to be good at basketball, but because
it's so bad.
No, guys, this is way more insulting. Way more insulting. And yes, Captain, thank you for yet again bringing up the fact that I can't play basketball. You know that is my most ashamed I've ever been in my life.
I wish more people were there because the first time he went to throw it was one of those things where he threw it so poorly that we all had to stop and be like, is he gonna be upset right now or?
It's embarrassing. It was embarrassing. And
it
hurt my arm.
His response was to throw it harder, and that's when he hurt his arm.
Yeah, it's not my sport, but I'll say, Blessing and Andy talk a lot of smack about how good they are at basketball, and so I'd love to steal Andy's talent just to be able to turn to him and be like, "You're not that good." Like, I've got the talent, and I'm playing as you right now.
Stuff.
And I'm telling you right now, this stuff, not worth much. Not worth much.
So
You gotta
what will
love the
we steal
pregnant
from
pause.
Andy Cortez? Everything. We'll take everything he loves from him.
Everything. We'll take his musical abilities, his lack of harmony, his lack of pitch, and we'll take his guitar stuff. But he can have all the sports stuff and all the art stuff. None of us want to interact with that at all.
And the
That's
hair.
pretty
He gets
good.
to keep his hair.
He gets to keep the hair as well. He gets to keep the, and but we're taking his laugh though, because his laugh is like an angel. We love
I'm
that.
surprised you wouldn't just want to steal his hairline, Nick.
He does have a really good hairline. I will say that. But I don't know if that's the thing with Andy though. He says he's balding, but I look at his hair. I'm like, he's got thick hair. So whatever products he's using are working. But I don't know if that's a talent though. Is that a hidden talent?
His hairline?
Well, his hair isn't a talent either, but we talked about that.
His ability to do his hair like that is a talent.
Fucking love this show.
Right?
God.
Nah, he can keep his hairline because that's so Andy. I'd fill it in a little bit, but I'm working on that, guys. I gotta. One of these days, I'm gonna get Tim to get me a hair plug sponsorship, and me and Andy are gonna go bonkers. We're just gonna be like the Wolfman, man. Here we go. Snowbike Mike is back. This makes me excited. Mike, what would you steal from Andy Cortez? What hidden talent would you steal from Andy Cortez?
His laughter and all of his awesome jokes, how fast he is and quick and reactive. That's what I would steal.
Okay, awesome jokes.
Awesome jokes.
Okay. Just double check. I thought I misheard you. I thought you said mediocre, but no, you said awesome. That's cool.
Oh my gosh.
I guess everything's subjective.
God. You know what? Like, I missed a KF podcast recently. I think it was one apparently
last
about
week.
fucking if Thor was a horse or some shit. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
What did we
The
do?
Thor horse. Yeah, somebody got a horse and they wanted to name it Thor,
That's right.
but
Got
it
it.
was yeah.
Horse.
But like I did not listen to that episode. I've been unfortunately busy, so I haven't been able to go back. And now I'm realizing like I don't know that I want to watch an episode that I'm not on. Cause like the danger. Like I can't even imagine the heinous shit Nick would say about me.
I don't think we talked a lot of shit about you because you missed one last week, and I don't think we talked a lot of shit about you on that one. Mostly because I think we
It's so
talked.
hard to remember, you know?
Yeah, it's all kind of blurring in, but I think that part of the fun with you, Tim, is seeing your reaction when I talk shit about you. That to me is because
Got it. That's fair.
yeah,
You need
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I gotta have that. I gotta have
Fuels
that.
you.
kind of knowledge. Of course, Thor's. Oh god, the Thor's thing was so funny. You were here for that, weren't you? Wasn't that a Greg podcast?
I think it was.
That
You were here
was,
for- I
and it was also Greg trying to like come to the understanding of like why don't we teach horses to read?
Yeah. Greg has
He-
a moment.
that was really like Greg was trying really hard to stay stable then.
Yeah.
And
Never
yeah.
been stable though. That's a problem. It's like
yeah.
he's he's just pure chaos in a Volkswagen automobile. He's got a moment in the Oreo oration that went up today, where he talks about going into crime with a beetle, and then when he gets caught, the beetle flies away. And he's just left. He's like, this is why I will never go into crime with a beetle, because the beetle could just fly away. And then the cops will never believe that the beetle was your partner. You'll never be able to find him. It's such a perfect, like, if you are new to this podcast, if you stumbled across this because you're like, oh, that's a really catchy headline, what would we steal from Andy? And you're probably like, wow, I'm just going around searching and the algorithm fed me that. I need you guys to watch that part of the Oreo oration because that's Greg in a nutshell. That is who Greg Miller is. That's how I would describe Greg Miller to other people right there.
Mm-hmm. That's horrifying. There is something horrifying about Greg, just in general, when it comes to that. But then I think about it. We all have our weird things. Talking about Beatles, I was obsessed with Beatles when I was young. I remember going to the library when I was like 8 years old, and I asked them, I was like, "Where's all your Beatle books?" And then I went and found the Beatle books.
Wait,
and I
wasn't that
got
'cause
all the Beatle books they
Beetleborgs?
got. And it was only because of Beetleborgs. But this is proof of the power of children's television and how you make some fucking cool Power Rangers-esque suits that look like Beatles, give them some Beetle powers, and guess what? Little Timmy loves Beatles now, and that's just how it's gonna be.
Thank God I missed
I'm
that
really
whole
glad that you brought this up, Tim, because I've been thinking about something along this line for about the past 24 hours. Kevin, I'm going to slack you something right now.
Oh,
I
I'm
saw
excited.
a tweet yesterday, and it just made me laugh so hard because it is just talking about how weird kids are. It's this Dana Schwartz tweeted, "Why did I grow up thinking that marine biologist was like one of the 5 main jobs that people had?"
No, that is so true.
Dude, it was marine biologist, astronaut, firefighter, And that was it. I think those were like the 3 career paths that I was supposed to go into.
But
Scientist.
those
yeah.
make
Kinda fits
sense
Marine
because
Mammal.
I feel like as a kid you have an understand like space seems cool, and I feel like they use that in a lot of kids stuff, but like marine biologists,
tell
I
you
have
why,
no
because-
idea. But I wanted to be one. No idea what that means.
It's because everyone went on that one field trip
Yep.
to
You're
the
right.
aquarium, and you touched the starfish, and you were like, doesn't get any better than this. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think it has. I've done a lot of cool shit in my life, but nothing really kind of compares to touching soft marine animals.
Today, me, Gia, and Cool Greg were eating lunch together, and we're talking about some random things. And like, my brother was asking if she had any Vaseline, and she was like, "Oh, I don't think it did." And he's like, it's weird because Vaseline is just one of those things that you just kind of assume everyone has, but like, I don't really know why anyone would have it. And then we started going out. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of things like that, just from like when you're little, and like without missing a beat, the 3 of us at the same time at a jig status, we're just like, yeah, like baking powder or baking soda.
Baking soda. Yeah.
Like baking soda is just one of those things. What the fuck is it? Besides volcanoes, why?
Well, you use it for baking, but also you most of the time,
Yes,
fridge.
I am I wrong in thinking that's the same stuff that you get that takes the smell out of your
Yeah, fridge.
Yeah,
You stick it in the
right.
fridge.
Baking powder, baking soda, different things. I learned that today.
Oh yeah, they're very
baking soda
different.
is the agent that allows yeast to rise, right? Isn't that the whole point of
One's
baking
like
soda?
more alkaline and one's
It helps. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but you can I've learned a lot from Great British Bake Off, but evidently not enough. Because sometimes they have to do stuff without baking soda, and you're like, well, how do you do that? That's really crazy. Yeah. That's one of those things that my parents always had. My mom always had the thing too, where that I've never had in my life as an adult, which was like the 4 pound or like the kilo of sugar.
Kilo.
Did you ever have that where you had just the baby sack of kilo? Like that's the thing that they put in a little pouch and like for your holes in your ear, you have to pretend like you have a baby, but it was sugar. Yeah, my parents always had that stuff growing up, and I was like, I've never in my life had sugar in an apartment. Period. Full stop.
Anytime I want to make cookies, I'm always like, this is so expensive because I never have any of that
Yeah, you
stuff.
gotta buy all the
So then
shit.
you have to buy everything, and you're like, this is now like a $60 batch of cookies that I just
When am I
made.
going
don't
to
know
use
if
all
is
this
worth it.
vanilla?
I know.
I constantly like having all the ingredients to make cookies just in case Paula wants to make a cookie. I think right now, if someone was like, hey, make cookies, I'd be like, all right, I got everything.
What kind of like chocolate, like basic ass chocolate chip
yeah,
cookies, or do you think you
chocolate
put some
chip, yeah.
walnuts in that motherfucker?
Oh, I got walnuts. I got chestnuts. No, wait, not chestnuts.
Why do I imagine that this is the scene
I
from
have
Spider-Man
3
3?
different. I have 3 different kinds of nuts. I think. Oh, what's the big ones? You know the big ones.
Macadamia.
My
no.
favorite part.
Macadamias. That's it. You nailed it, Nick.
My
Those are
favorite part
fun.
about
Those are fun
Kevin
nuts.
rants and rabbit holes is just watching Tim's reaction.
Yeah.
Just fucking can't deal with this
It's been
man.
30 some odd years of it.
I don't know. He's worked up. About
I like
it.
to imagine that when Kevin makes cookies in his house, it's the Spider-Man 3 phone scene, except Paula is Peter Parker and Kevin is Ursula. And Paula's like, you got some walnuts? And Kevin's like, yeah, I got walnuts. Go make me some walnut cookies. Go make me some walnut cookies.
What type of nuts you want? Oh, the big nuts. Were those big
the
nuts
big
called again? I don't remember the big nuts.
Macadamias. That's a lot of word, you know.
Macadamia. You know what's funny?
Macadamia.
That's
You
a
guys-
lot of word.
It is. It's a lot of syllables. Do you remember growing up and thinking certain things were only for rich people?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Macadamias.
like Viennetta. Do you remember
Sushi.
what Viennetta is?
Sushi, macadamia nuts were one of
Yep.
those things that I remember thinking, oh, what's a macadamia nut? And I think I tried like a small packet of them.
And you were like, it's
And I'm like,
magic.
I was like, Mom, these are really good. And my mom was like, they're too expensive. We can't afford them. Like, we're not going to ever get macadamia nuts. Mind you, we're fucking up
This-
pistachios left and right. And I'm like, Elena, I think maybe she
Pistachios
just did
are
like
gross.
macadamia nuts.
First off,
It-
pistachios are not gross. They're fantastic. And also, I feel
No,
like
I don't like
pistachios are also a fancy.
That's a bougie ass nut, is what I'm
That's
saying.
bougie as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a
My
nut
mom-
that
my mom-
requires too much work. I
Way
like
too
my
much
nuts
work.
easy. You know what I mean?
I'll never forget one time I went over to I think it was my Uncle Lou's apartment complex in Florida. I think or maybe it was, I can't remember where. It was like back east.
Hold on,
go
your
there.
dad's Lou and you have an Uncle Lou?
Tim, in Italian
Are they
families.
brothers?
Tim, in Italian families, it was my great uncle Lou. My grandmother's
Okay.
brother. But
He
in
was the
Italian
Lou that
families,
he was named after.
yes, that was actually correct. There's only like 4 or 5 names you can pick from in Italian families.
Yeah.
Sorry. So it's Gina, Marie, Lou, that's pretty
Michael.
much it. Yeah, Michael's there, but
Teresa.
that's usually a middle name.
Ah,
Anything
yeah.
that was yeah. So there you go. I remember one time, and I was a sunflower seed fanatic when I was a kid. I used to love because I was like, oh, it's what ball players do. I have all the benefits of being a ball player without having to actually break a
Were you a
sweat.
big ball player fan?
No, Joey. I hated sports,
But it is
I
what
just
they
thought
do.
I'm like, this will make me a part of it, right? I like to spit it into the thing. I used to like to crack them all and put a bunch of seeds in my mouth, and then
Like
when
a
they were
chipmunk?
too full, I would eat them all. So it would be like you get the
Ew.
real good. Yeah, exactly like a chipmunk. But I'll never forget the day I walked into my Uncle Lou and Aunt Madeline's house, and he had a bowl of shelled sunflower seeds. They had been pre-shelled. It was just the nut, like the meat
Ridiculous.
of the nut.
That's so
the seed.
lazy.
Wow.
And I was just like, I have been doing it wrong this entire time. And I got sick off of those things.
Yeah,
My mom
see,
had to,
that's
like, pry those things out of my hand.
that's the problem. That's like every kid goes through this at some point where they hit, I'm gonna say 7 or 8 years old. Mom and dad, they're nowhere to be seen. You open that cupboard in the kitchen, you find yourself some Lucky Charms. What do? You take out all the marshmallows, right? You put them in your.
Sure as
I'm
hell
gonna
do.
have a oops all marshmallows Lucky Charms cereal. Never a good idea. And you learn that once, everything's green. You never do it again. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
I got really
Oh,
high one weekend. And I
God.
ate a whole box of Fruit Loops. Tim, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Everything
That
comes
was
out
so
green. It's
gross.
very
We
shocking.
all know what you're talking about.
It's very shocking.
Now,
No,
before
thank you.
before we like start to wrap up the show, Kev, I was not able to share this experience with Joey and Nick yet. On Kind of Funny Games Daily, there was breaking news from the McDonald's front. McDonald's has collabed with a bunch of different Saweetie, Travis Scott, BTS, all these different musical artists. Are you familiar with this?
Yes. I got the sweetie order, and her little sauce was so cute. It had like a custom little label on it. I loved it.
So they announced the next one. And Kev, can you please bring up the first tweet so we can look at it? Thank you very much. Mariah's back for the holiday season, and this time she's bringing a whole menu with her. And this is the image
What
that
the
they
fuck?
chose to use.
What is happening?
Yeah.
in this
Zoom in
image?
so you can examine it closer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is for audio listeners. This is an image of Mariah Carey
Mhm.
in sort of a evening
No,
gown,
so
I would
far.
say.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
Mermaid
Kind of
gown.
looking almost like a mermaid gown. Yeah. So it looks kind of like a mermaid, but it's red, so it's not green. And she is
No, it's
standing
the type
in
of
the.
gown.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you're, I said, it kind of makes her look like a mermaid because it's
Got it,
pertinent to
got
the
it,
next
okay.
part,
It's a
which is
trumpet
that
style.
she's standing on the beach at the shore as waves break at her legs, and off in the distance is a pole that is carrying the McDonald's golden arches.
So there
In
was
the
a lot
middle
of
of the
talk about this, about what
Straight
exactly
into
is
the
going on. Is it flooding? Like, why is she not helping these people? Like, what's going on? But we were really concerned with the scale of it all, of like why she looks this tall or whatever. But it was only more complicated when the follow-up response from McDonald's Cuba got involved. And they sent in what Kevin is about to pull up now, which made my day so much better.
That's
I think that this might
Fantastic.
be vaguely racist. Just a heads up,
I mean,
Ooh.
yeah.
because of the Cuban implications.
Oh, that's an
Is it
interesting thing that I never would have thought
You would
about.
have,
Yeah.
I am uninformed on that, and I apologize if this
No,
is
I mean, but
insensitive
like-
in any which
That's like a
way.
kid- you're
This
talking-
is-
But
this
it's
is
even
from
weirder for McDonald's
Cuba.
Cuba to say
I don't know that it's actually McDonald's Cuba. Is it?
Yeah.
Does McDonald's have a Cuba thing? It's not.
Yeah.
McDonald's
Is
has
that
something
a
for
fake
every
check mark?
country that they're
It had
in, for sure.
it's just a 7 and it only has 164 followers.
fake check mark.
Yeah.
But what is so they're teasing that she has a meal or something coming?
Yeah.
Why is she in the ocean?
None
Is
of
it-
this makes sense.
This would wait.
At all.
Is she like a
more
really
sense.
big fillet of fish fan?
No, she really likes the ocean.
But what does that have to do with McDonald's?
Kevin just giggled in the background. Kevin made himself laugh. There it is. There's the iconic laugh. This is
A
weird to me
she's
and
bringing a
bonkers.
whole menu with her.
Why would she be taking it to the beach? Because that's the implication, right?
Well, Kevin, as you know, that
It
eating
looks like she's
McDonald's on the
coming
beach
from the
always-
water.
But so that's where the McDonald's is, though.
It's in
It
the
seems
water.
like she's bringing the menu from the sea.
It kind of makes it look like the McDonald's is tracking her like a shark, and that's its fin that just came out, and it's about to come out of the ocean and eat her.
She doesn't know yet, though. So the
She
follow-up
also-
tweet is introducing the Mariah menu. Get free daily deals with a $1 minimum purchase from December 13th to 24th. Only in the app, darlings. They spell darlings, DAHLINGS.
Is that like
So-
a signature Mariah phrase that
I don't
I'm
know, but I'm
unaware
even
of?
more confused now.
I don't understand anything about Mariah Carey, except really my touchstone for her is that she has great music. Her songs are iconic. And I watched an episode, I think it was Cribs, where she had a couch that was so big, it was like a big U, and it was double wide so that you could lay down on each part of it if you wanted to and put your feet up. And I always just thought that must be what it's like to be rich. That and just bowls full of macadamia nuts all over the apartment.
Nick, macadamia
Type in
nuts are
Mariah
really
Carey's couch.
expensive. just
I
so you
know. Well, it's because they had come
Crazy.
all the way from Hawaii. That's what my mom said. She said that's why we can't afford them. And then she went and got to fucking Costco and bought 8 pounds of freaking pistachios for probably $30. And I was like, something doesn't add up here, Mrs. Scarpino. Mariah Carey.
I'm looking
couch.
into it. I'm looking into it.
I think it was her couch.
And it was just a big couch?
Yes, it was
I got the
like.
Carey part, so it's just Mariah's couch. Nothing's coming up.
Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I imagined this.
I'm sure it's just some other artist, and you
Maybe.
just maybe it was
No,
a
it was just
woman.
high.
Yeah, or
Joey,
I don't know.
what if I was high all the time, Joey? Would that be something that would surprise
No, Nick,
you?
you're right. You're it. Wait, hold on.
Would it surprise me? Like looking backwards, or if this was
Just
like a
going
lifestyle you were
forward.
establishing?
Oh man, I want to find this
It
couch.
wouldn't.
It's so
It
cool.
wouldn't be
I have it.
totally shocking because I feel like you've dabbled, so it's not like not totally shocking, but it would be a direction I would not be expecting you to go with your life.
There you go, Nick.
But like you do you.
Yeah, it's not the one I was thinking about, but it's
no?
okay. No, that's a
Oh,
nice couch
sorry.
though. That's a lot of champagne colored drapery that she has.
That's
in
a
that
whole
room.
lot of couch.
God
Yeah.
dang. Man, Mariah
I
Carey
think
is.
is this the couch you're
That
talking
might be the
about?
one I was thinking of, but
It's
that,
3 couches though, Nick.
That's a lot
Yeah.
of couch.
I think this is the style of it.
yeah, it's similar to that. Where I think you could put like move the ottoman in, and then it just became like one big bed sort of looking couch.
Oh,
I always
that's
thought was
fun.
cool. Yeah, very
Always-
cool.
That's really cool. In the Olympic
agree.
living room though.
I think we did a good one this time, guys.
Me too.
Sometimes I wrap the
This
podcast and I
time.
think to myself, I don't know if that was worth everyone's dollar, but ladies and gentlemen, this is definitely worth your dollar. Thank you so much for joining us for this Kind of Funny podcast. If you're a Patreon member, we're going to go into the exclusive Patreon only post show right about now.